Hey there, everyone. This is Lily Ray, and I'm going to show you a new feature that Google just rolled out yesterday in Google Labs. It's called SGE while browsing, and SGE stands for Search Generative Experience. For anybody that doesn't know, this is something that Google's been kind of testing in Google Labs for several months as far as generating AI-driven answers directly in Google search results. Yesterday, they launched a new product here in Google Labs called SGE while browsing, and it's still in beta. It's not fully available to the public yet, but if you do have access to Google Search Labs, you do have the option to enable SGE while browsing. It requires that you update your Chrome. That took a couple of tries for me. It's a little bit of a weird experience to update it, but once you get it to work, you can then go within Chrome and actually see this feature directly in the sidebar of Google Chrome. So I'm going to show you how it works. Here, I'm in this backlinko page. This is an article about how to become an SEO expert. And once you've enabled this feature, you'll see this little Google button in your sidebar. So you can click on that. And it's going to give you some new features that are basically using AI as well as some Google other features that we're all familiar with. So I'm going to walk you through each of them. Number one, we have key points from the page, and this is going to be generative AI information about what Google found on this page. So you can generate that, and you can think of this somewhat as like the way that ChatGPT or Bard or one of these AI tools might summarize the information that they found on the page. It's basically just creating a bulleted list of all of the content on this page. And next we have Explore on the page. So this enables you to jump to different points of the page, and Google will actually use its scroll to text highlighting to answer that question. What I think is interesting about this part is that it's not using the headlines that Backlinko is using verbatim. It's actually kind of like using AI to summarize information and then create its own version of the question and jump to the relevant part of the page that answers that question. So this is blending a number of different features that Google's had along with AI basically. Next, we have related searches. So when you Google things, you're probably familiar with seeing related searches, usually towards the bottom of the search results. And this is basically just extrapolating like other relevant questions people might have. When you click on these, it's going to take you directly to Google search results in the sidebar of Chrome. So it doesn't take you back to Google. It just keeps you in this Google search browsing experience while you're already on the page. And if you click on any of these, it's going to take you directly to that new page. And in this case, it's keeping open, the question that I asked. But another feature of this new SGE in Chrome product is that you can go back and you can see at the bottom about the source. I think this is really interesting because this is something that Google's been working on for probably about 2 years. And what about the source does, you might be familiar with this ZipRecruiter. In Google search, you can click on these three dots and you can see about this result and about the source. So if you click here, you can do more about this page. This is where you're going to see about the source. To me, this is like EEAT, experience, expertise, authority, and trust. This is what Google knows about ZipRecruiter, different reviews that it found around the web, different third-party review sites, summaries. In some cases, it shows like the Wikipedia biography of the page, how long it's been indexed on Google. You can actually get a lot of like qualitative information about a site in this view. So Google's essentially just lifting about the source and putting it directly into this new SGE feature. When you click on more about this page, you'll get the about the source information directly in your sidebar. And then what's interesting is when you start to click on different results within Google Chrome or different pages, it's going to keep about the source open. And now it's going to switch to whichever brand we're looking at. So now we're looking at consumer affairs. So it's important to pay attention to what Google shows and about the source. It has been important, but now it's even more important. So I've seen examples where Google gets this information wrong because it doesn't have enough information about the brand, or maybe the brand shares a name with another brand. And if that brand has a bad reputation, that could potentially be reflected in here. So definitely go to Google and start looking at, about this result, about this source, because this is potentially the future of how people are going to be looking at your site. And that's pretty much it. I think it's just interesting that Google is sort of creating its own version of FAQs directly in this feature. Interesting timing, given that they just took away FAQ schema or FAQ rich results from us a week or two ago. So curious timing, but definitely play around with this because this could have a pretty big impact on how people use Google and Google Chrome. Hope that was helpful. Have a good one. Bye.